Hey y'all, should we have done this live? No, we're
No.
good. Okay, so I'm here with the beautiful Monique. We had this meeting today concerning you people who are looking to return, repatriate to Africa, and we are befuddled with like how can we help you because this helping you to find a place and looking around for a place, it is very overwhelming. And you know when you come here from the States or the United Kingdom, you know finding a property is completely different than there where you're coming from. So you have your specific tastes, your specific likes, and it's not as simple. So let's break it down on what the process is like, okay? So let's say, for example, you went on the internet, you saw a place that you like, you go into Zoom Tanzania, you call, and you expect that you're calling about this place. Most of those houses that they put on the internet do not exist at all, okay? They just put that there just to attract you. I have a property that I've rented that I have a stamp sealed lease on, and they are still putting that property up on the internet, okay? And that's one. And then two is you don't speak the language. So there are lots of cooks involved in the broth. So let me try to explain to you how it goes. So you see the property you want, you contact the agent. Sometimes there are two agents working together. Sometimes this one knows somebody else and they want to split the commission. You have to pay a go-see fee. When you pay the go-see fee, some of these people want you to pay 2 and 3 times just to go back and look at the house again, the same house that you saw already. So you have the agent. And then the agent's responsibility here is only to get the money that first month's rent. They're not brokering your lease for you. They're not negotiating with the landlord for you. They're not checking the property to see if it has leaks, to see what needs to be repaired. They're not doing any appraisals. They're not doing any assessments. They're not looking at the lease to see what's on it. They're not making sure the lease is registered. They're not making sure your lease says, home business. They're not saying anything of that. They're not doing any of that. And then you ask us for help. And this is a child I don't want. Okay, so I was trying to give this child to Monique. Like, would you be able to help our people repatriate? Help them find a place, and it is extremely time consuming because we have to get involved at a certain level that it becomes almost invasive, and it is exhausting because you're going to see something, nah, I don't like that, nah, I don't want that, and you think there's just an endless market of the houses that you love. And it's okay to come from that environment of pickiness, and you want what you love, but you can always get a temporary home until you get a forever home. But when you get us involved, and you ask Sister Monique for help, or you ask Renee for help, and we have to get involved. We have to call people. We have to get somebody who speaks the language to call to see if this property is available, if it's available, if it's not available, what is the deposit, how much are they looking for, when can we go and see it. And and you go and you see, and you don't realize that there is a burden of time that it didn't cost you nothing, not because it didn't cost you anything, I mean it didn't cost us anything. It's taking, it takes, and it's not just us. So we're trying to figure out amongst ourselves, how can we make this process more streamlined for those of you who are looking to come. And there is no simple answer. Because if we get another person involved who is like a local Tanzanian, then there are so many.
Compensate that person.
You still have to compensate that person. So it's that person on top of the agent, and we would have to train that person as to what they need to look for. It's Swahili culture is not very confrontational, so it's not like a Jamaican or American culture that would be like or no, we didn't talk about this, or we can't pay this if this is wrong, or you need to fix this before we pay one dime. Like, they're not very confrontational. They want everything to go very smooth, right? And you can't be that way when you're exchanging, you know,
It won't be in your
10 million
favor
T
to
shillings.
come in that
Yes.
that type of attitude
Yes.
or mindset.
Yes.
You have to just be calm, because things can take a long time here. So from what my experience has been is that you get some temporary stay, which I got an Airbnb. I worked out a better arrangement when I got here with the owner of the Airbnb to kind of get a better discount, because, you know, they have the additional fees that you have to do when you book through the website. So that gave me time to look for a place and find a place. And even that's not simple. It's not, I went online, I found something, it was exactly what I wanted and I got it. It's more like you need about 30 days to do your legwork to really find that space. You need to find someone you trust that you can take to speak to people for you and make sure they're not creating some side deal to get more money off of you. So that took time for me to make friends, and those people ended up being the people over the 2 months that I had been here that I had created relationships with and felt that I can trust them. That's how I was able to find my home. You know, had a friend that was willing to take me out one day. We looked at some places. It's just not as straightforward and convenient as we have back in America. It is different. I would say get on the ground first and then find a place. I know that's kind of hard advice to give someone, because you want to feel like, I know where I'm gonna live forever, or at least for a year when I get there. That might not be how it goes. Most of the repatriates I know here, all of them transition from a hotel or Airbnb, or maybe you can find a repatriate who is renting out rooms or give you a place to stay while you're on the ground looking at your spaces. So it's not that we don't want to help, it's just that it took me, I mean, how long to find a place? So it would take just as long to find a place for another person, let alone a handful of people with different demands, different parts of the city. You know, I stay in one part of the city, she stays in one part of the city. If you want to go somewhere further, I can't go far, you know. And then we all are trying to establish our lives here, our foundation, where we're going to make money so that we can continue to stay in Africa. So, you know,
that on top of the repatriation itself, on top of helping somebody else to repatriate, is a lot. So we have our own situations that we're navigating, right? We have our own, you know, situations. We're building businesses. We're going through the immigration process. We're going through everything that we need to go through to remain here, right? And you know what Monique just said was extremely valuable. You know, but for those of you who have children, you're going to have to develop some kind of sense of urgency. If I knew what my budget was when I came here, before I came here, I looked for the properties online. I took out my map. I looked to see exactly where these places were that I liked in comparison to, you know, the price range of where I would, you know, where what would be nice. Okay. And I knew how long I was going to stay in a hotel. There was a time frame. There was a week. Okay, I knew that where I initially went into that villa was $100 a night. That's 700 US dollars a week. Okay, and so I knew I only needed it for a week, and then I would go down to a you know, a suite or something. So that way I just needed that week. I needed to take that vacation, that break that I needed, to sink into myself and just really, you know, enjoy my repatriation. And then I could jump and say, okay, I know what I'm doing next. And my urgency was much different from other people's urgency, because I have a child depending on me and I came here with her alone. So coming